Hey, what's up, everyone? I finally hit 40 out of 40. I always go for this every single league. I now have 8 40 out of 40s right now. I didn't really start collecting these until I started being a content creator. And it's just like, I feel like it's part of my duty to get it. You know, I kind of like having it now, and it kind of feels good to have these. But I do feel like it's kind of my duty as a content creator. This is a goal that a lot of people often have, and I like to do it myself personally and then share with you guys how I did it. Anyone that is still struggling with going for 40 out of 40, I like to put out a guide every single league showing how I did it, just trying to keep it short and sweet and focus on the ones that can get you your 40 out of 40 as quickly as possible, so you can get your little challenge drip right here. The real good news for people that haven't really kicked this off yet is this is probably the easiest 40 out of 40 that I've done. Out of all 8, there wasn't a single really intense grind. There was one very specific challenge that is quite RNG gated, which is a pain in the ass. Although if you play enough of the league, it will happen eventually anyway. I was trying really hard to force it in just a couple days, and it was a pain in the ass. But every other challenge was very smooth to do, very easy. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, for all of the easy ones here, I'm just going to go over them really, really fast. I'm just going to say this is easy, go to the wiki, something like that. I'm going to focus on the ones that might have a little subtlety to them, and there might be some strategy with how you would do it, at least how I did it. Also, this is not going to be like the perfect definitive guide or anything like that. This is just how I did it. Might get some ideas here that can help you along and make it a little bit easier. So yeah, learning the ropes, fully clear the fetid pool. I did keep this for my last 40 out of 40 just as a little bit of a joke, but yeah. Very easy. Rediscovered pass, very easy. Just do the Sanctum. This will happen. Vendor knows best. Just go, as they always do one of these every single league. All you got to do is go to the wiki. They do this every single league. Go to the vendor recipe system for whatever you're looking for. Type in Control F, Hybrid Flask, Fusing Life Flask, Mana Flask, just like that. This link is really good. poewiki.net/wiki/vendor recipe system. Go through the acts, do some content. Now, doing these, you do have to go to the Fell Shrine runes, and then you'll see Divinia there. In Act 7, you won't see her, but you just go straight down. You'll go into the Sanctum, and you got to do those quests to have boons and accursed packs. So that's just a thing that you have to know there. Go through the acts, kill Adziri, kill Rogue Exiles. The one here is kill 3 Rogue Exiles within 10 seconds. The 2 things that I know of that you can do is you can use Ruckus right here. So sometimes you'll have a map with 20 Rogue Exiles. That's very, very easy. Or the other one is I did the Einhar's memory of the Crystal Shards, or whatever it is, the Essence Einhar memory. That will just have a ton of Rogue Exiles. You can pop them from the Essences right next to each other. That makes that one really easy. But that costs like 400 chaos right now, so you can just do Ruckus and that'll happen. You could also do Sextants or anything like that. This will just happen pretty naturally, I think. Domination, just spec into shrines, having 4 shrines at once, anything like that. You can also use a Gull Helmet, so you have a bunch of those mini shrines that will also count, I believe. Beyond boss while you're affected by a shrine, roll Beyond on your map, have shrines on your map, easy peasy. You can also use Domination on your map device right there. Complete any of the rooms in the Forbidden Sanctum. These will just show up, not hard. Breach encounters, easy peasy. The one thing is upgrading a breach unique. You do have to use a blessing on one of the bases, like Zoth's Nurture will turn into Zoth's Nature with the blessing of Zoth. Some people didn't know about this. Assemble a Harbinger unique. There are a bunch of Harbinger uniques. If you type in first piece of whatever, you'll see some of these pieces here. These will drop from running the Beachhead unique map. So first piece of time, and then there's going to be second piece of time, anything like that. If you click on Flow Untethered right here, you can see first piece of time, second piece of time. You can buy these individual pieces if you want to, or just run beachheads if you're into that. You can create beachheads by buying them from people, or you can use Harbinger's Orbs right here. Use them on tier 14 and tier 15 maps, and then you can make the beachhead. Use a Fracturing Ancient or Harbinger Orb, really easy. Complete the beachhead world's tier 15. Like I said, you can make a beachhead with the Harby Orb. Deli Encounters, complete a full simulacrum. You can buy this for 50 chaos off of TFT, the Forbidden Trove if you need to, or you need a friend, or you need a build that can do the wave 30 simulacrum. It is all the way to wave 30. Which a lot of builds can't really do super comfortably. That is the one annoying one. Gain at least 20 rewards from a single Delirium Mirror. That's not that bad. What you want to do is spec into the additional reward types right here in Delirium. And just getting the Deli Mirrors and having these additional reward types, what that means is you just need, like, if you have 5 reward types and they all get to up to 4, that is 20 rewards, 5 times 4. And that's all you have to do. It's not that hard, actually. Deli Boss, Kosas, or Omni will just show up easy peasy. do mirrors. So ritual encounters here, the one annoying thing is finding an opulent ritual. You can spec into up here, ritual special reward chance. This will give it more % chance of getting an opulent ritual, which is the one which, has the mirror and all the gold is coming down off of it. If you do a good amount of ritual, this will just show up eventually, but if you spec into this, it'll make it easier. And then complete a single ritual encounter with at least 4 unique map bosses. What you want to do is use your blood vessels. If you don't know anything about ritual, blood vessels are right here. You use them on the altar after you do it. So you do 4 different maps that have rituals that show up on the map boss. You capture the map boss with the ritual vessel, and then when it is filled, you put it in your map device along with your map. So you put in 4 ritual vessels that are filled with map bosses, and then you just do the rituals in the next map. For pious packs, just get some of the accursed packs, easy peasy. Complete the floors; those will show up eventually. Do your ascendancy. Corrupt jewels. You just have to corrupt each one of these jewel base types until you get corruption exclusive unique ones. This isn't that hard; doesn't take that long. Vendor recipes. Again, go to that vendor recipe page and learn these recipes. I think that's the main reason why they do these challenges, is to teach you the game a little bit here. Defeat 50 Beyond Breach Deli or Harby bosses and maps. That will just happen eventually. We'll go back to that one. That is the hardest challenge in the game. Definitive Deviation. F that challenge. Do your unique maps. Easy peasy. Use these different types of Exalted Orbs. You don't have to do 3 of these. Very, very easy, especially with Exalts being so cheap. Call the Wild. Now, there is one of these for each one of the unique masters. For all 4 of these guys, there are very, very similar challenges here. Call of the Wild. Do 30 red tier Einhar masters. Do 50 beast crafts. Do 100 captures of red beasts and do a bestiary boss. Same thing with Nico. Same thing with Elva right here. And then same thing with June here. They're basically just do the league mechanic. There is nothing special about these whatsoever. You just have to do them. So I'm not going to go into too much detail there. Kill the monsters that are in Forbidden Sanctum. That will just happen. Atlas memory maps. That is the Atlas memories right here, which is one of the coolest things they've added to the game. The one thing that I will say is, especially for an SSF, the wandering path strat that I've been doing, that I made a video on fairly recently, kind of doing Captain Lance's strategy for rushing Sanctums. Something about doing wandering path, pushing the quant, pushing the map drop. I was getting a ton of memories. Like, I've sold quite a few memories. These are like the cheaper ones that are left over. But every single day on stream, I was getting 3, 4, 5 memories to drop in like about a 5 or 6 hour stream. So I do recommend doing that strategy, particularly if you don't want to buy memories. But these cheap ones are very, very cheap. We're talking 5 to 10 chaos. So if you just need to do memories, that's pretty easy. Orthodox Origins, this is just do the Sanctum. The one thing here is do 15 plus afflictions. This will naturally happen, but the easiest thing to do here is, just grab every single one that you can. The little subtlety thing is with the no relics, your sanctified relic does not count for this. So you can still use your sanctified relic. That's okay. You don't have to unequip that. Just all of the ones in the relic chest. Renewed rares, kill 250 rares. The cool thing about 8 mod maps is this can happen from corrupting even a white map. So if you want to just kind of make these really quickly, you don't want to buy them from other people, find like maps that you don't care about right here, right? So it's just an outcome of corrupting any map. So I don't even have to elk these. I can just corrupt. Yeah, there we go. I can just corrupt a white map and turn it into an 8 mod map. Do 25 altars 3 times per map. This will just happen as you're playing the game. Do your void stones, get your map favorites. The one thing here is if you don't know how to do that, when these are not completed, you can just mouse over it. It'll tell you what the requirement is. Same thing with your void stones. It'll tell you which bosses to kill to get those. Sanctimonious skill. Big thing here is this is doing the bosses in the Sanctum without getting hit by certain things. Go full ZHP. Go full glass cannon. Once you get better at the Sanctum as well, Resolve is, what ends your run. As long as you don't die to one hit, doing a ton of damage is really the way to play the Sanctum. I made a video on it last week if you want to know, my approaches there. Do all of the invitations while they're at least 80% quantity. You can do it or you can't. And now, sorry, I wanted to speed run those because those are not interesting. I want to spend most of the video kind of focusing on the ones that are actually interesting here. And, I think there might be something to learn and talk about here. So with the Punishing Pinnacle Pressure, this is that challenge where it's always like do one of the endgame bosses with specific requirements. And you can see the ones that I chose to do. And I think the most important thing here is the ones that I chose not to do. So Cortex without being hit, you can do regular Cortex. Just don't be hit by the big slam. That is the one where he says like Call of the Void and he sucks you in. You can just run in a circle and the Call of the Void will never hit you if you're fast enough. Or if you trust your reaction time, you actually have time to dash after you get pulled in. So just dash behind the guy because he's going to do a slam in front of him. Eater of Worlds, after completing Inescapable Doom 5 times, you just got to be patient. And when he does Inescapable Doom, you just got to do that 5 times. Maven, while affected by Maven's punishment, this is her laser beams. So right before you kill Maven, walk into the laser beam, and then that'll put the 10-second debuff on you. Then you can kill Maven. Cirrus, while be affected by Desolation of the Awakener, that is just walk into one of the pools that's on the ground right there. So usually want to avoid those pools, but just walk on them, and then that's the key there. Almost the exact same thing. Searing Exarch, Searing Rune is the square runes on the ground that give you the Scorch effect. Just walk on that right before he dies, really easy. Of course, all of these are very, very easy if you just have like Culling Strike linked to something else. You can just call them. Now, the ones that I chose not to do. Uber Elder, this one's not that bad. Vortex Ground and Eldritch Decay. Eldritch Decay is the little octopus will poop out the ground that has like the Eldritch little tentacles. The Vortex Ground is the Shaper Balls, and you want to stack those on top of each other and then kill Uber Elder while standing in both of those at the same time. It's a lot of degen. It's a pain in the ass. If you really want to do that, I do recommend speccing into something like Lethe Shade. So when you walk onto that, you don't instantly die. But I just found that one not necessary. All the other ones are much easier. And then Shaper, well, there's 15 undetonated volatile anomalies. Those are the Shaper balls that follow you around. 15 is a lot. I tried it once, and I accidentally popped like 2 or 3 of them, like right at the end when I was trying to kill them. I think this is the most tedious one of all of them. I don't recommend going for that one whatsoever. And then Grinding Grand Goals. This is the endgame grinds. They wanted to rename everything. Nice little GGG here. This is the easiest endgame grinds we've ever had. If you do the other missions, you will have 250 red tier master missions, and you don't even have to use the master mission here. Even if you just naturally see it show up in your map, if you see your Voltaxic Sulfite, you see a Nico mission, just click on the Sulfite, and that will count. So this is really easy, just 250 maps that'll show up eventually. So that's for free. 50 Sanctum floors, that should just happen as long as you're just playing the game. I think that was really easy. 150 Pantheon rare monsters. So the way to do this one the easiest, so they will just show up, you get the Solaris touched, Abrath touched, anything like that. Those do show up occasionally, but you can force this with Kirak's Memory of the Pantheon, where you'll find shrines guarded by Pantheon monsters. This is really, really easy. You'll get a couple dozen of them every single memory. It's really, really fast, and the price of the memory is 5 chaos. Everyone can afford that. It's incredibly easy. So this is also an absolute gimme. The Sanctum floors, red tier master missions, rare monsters. This is free for everybody. Now, if you are in softcore trade, I actually do recommend going for level 100, particularly with the Nimbus Ring right now. That's what the 5-way carries are doing. If you have a free couple hours one afternoon on a Saturday, I really think everyone, if you have a character that you love, should be level 100. It is actually so easy, so free. You will make money doing this. If you put in a bunch of gems, you level gems, you corrupt them. Normally, you would get about 3 to 4% XP, depending on the quality of the carry, before this league. But because of the Nimbus Ring and of how optimized 5-way carries are, I think you get like 7-8% XP per set of stone. 5-ways are ridiculous right now. Level 100 is free. And if you don't know how to do 5-ways or leech them, I do have a video on that. It's a little out of date right now, but it's good enough. So yeah, if you're like level 97, literally in a couple hours, you can be level 100. And you can make money doing as well. Turn on Netflix, just do a 5-way leech and you're good to go. It's so easy. If you don't want to do that, 100 Elder, Shaper, or Elder Slayer maps is really, really easy. I haven't even been trying to do these maps. I only did them for the invitations for the other challenges, and I already have 60 out of 100. And now, the worst one. So what this is complete a floor in the Forbidden Sanctum, the definitive deviation right here. Basically, what you got to do is kill one of the floor bosses while you are still affected by one of these. So these are the major afflictions and major boons. You primarily get these from the handshake rooms, the forbidden packs, and then you have to be able to kill the boss with it. So certain ones, like Crystal Shard right here, are actually really, really annoying because what Crystal Shard does is it converts the next affliction that you get into a boon, which is normally really, really good. It's actually really hard to make it to a map boss without taking an affliction. Even if you have the one that hard counters getting an affliction, it still procs Crystal Shard. Crystal Shard will get consumed, and that way you don't get the affliction, but you don't get the boon that it converts anyway. It actually feels like a bug. So Crystal Shard, I strongly recommend don't go for that one. But basically what this is you want to min-max the number of afflictions and boons, major afflictions and boons that you're going to go for. The major boons will come from the handshake, or they will come from the merchant going to Divinia. So what you want to do is min-max the number of merchant choices that you have and the number of rooms that you can see to min-max your path for handshake. Now, the merchant doesn't sell you major boons very often. What I did is I actually had +5 additional choice. I actually have a lot of these. I have an additional choice here, and then in my current relic locker, I have 2 additional choices here. So I had +5 choices on my merchant, and like maybe twice a run, best case, I would see 2 major boons that she would sell. Merchant is really not what you're going to min-max here. You want to see as many rooms as possible. All Seeing Eye is really good as well. If you can get that, that will show the entire map. That's probably just the best boon in the entire game. You want to see as many rooms as possible. Plan your path to get as many handshakes as you can. This one took me 3 full days, basically, of just focusing on it and farming for it. Go to the handshake and actually very specifically take major afflictions that normally would brick your run, right? As long as you kill the floor boss, you're good to go. So you can do things like, hey, this is probably a run ender, but if I can just beat floor 1 with one of these really bad ones, I can just reset the run, right? And start again without a bricked run. But yeah, this is the hardest one. Now, this one can just happen naturally by just playing the game. If you're not trying to rush 40 out of 40, you can just kind of hold off. You don't have to min-max for it. This will happen probably eventually. I like to try to get my 40 out of 40 in the first month of the league. Honestly, I try to do it a little bit quicker if I can. I like to get this video out, do a little bit of a recap for you guys, and be able to pinpoint the things that might be able to help you out, make your 40 out of 40 a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, hopefully this video was short enough for you guys. I really wanted to focus basically just on a couple of the subtle ones here. Most of these are incredibly easy. If you ever just want to have at least 140 out of 40 and say that you've done it, this is the league. If it's not this easy again, I do recommend going for this one. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to go get ready for the stream, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.